Showcase event on Hartford TV. I'm Ray Ruse, and I'm here with my broadcast partner, Travis Ruse. We are at Patterson Mill High School for an early season, probably about a third of the way into the season. Great matchup between the visiting Fallston Cougars and the host Patterson Mill Huskies. Both teams come in at 2-1. We have two experienced coaches, Patterson Mill with Mike Parker, and we have John Salbeck on Fallston, and both coaches have led their teams to state championships in recent years, and we'll recap that soon. So welcome to the telecast, Travis.
Thank you for having me. It should be a great matchup. Like you said, two competitive teams. Happy to be here, and thanks again for having me.
So for those who don't know, obviously this is my son Travis. Coached him for many years, had a good career with club and high school, and he had a fun experience of coaching the Salisbury University women's club soccer team a couple years back.
Yeah, I have very fond memories at my time at SU. Looking forward to seeing those girls play again this weekend against UMD.
Yes. So they're going to do starting lineups here, but we'll just continue to recap recent history. So Fallston is coming off 2 state championships, and I think they were both in 1A, and they have to move up to 2A, but I still consider them a definite player in the state race. And Patterson Mill remains in 1A, and the two teams that have been in their way when they didn't make it to the state final and win it have been Fallston and Sparrows Point. But those teams just win state championship after state championship. So that's no hit on Patterson Mill's reputation when you're losing 1-goal games to state championship teams.
Well, I think it says something about Hartford County's talent in general that 2 of those 3 teams you mentioned are 15 minutes apart from each other.
Yes, and they're small schools, but they're still competitive with the larger schools, Bel Air and C. Milton Wright and such. Last year, we actually did this exact game, and it was 3-0 Fallston, but in all honesty, it's a deceiving score because it was 0-0 with 10 minutes to go in the game. And me and the person that did the game with me, we were both remarking how, wow, all of a sudden they scored 1. Well, what does Patterson Mill have to do? They have to commit players to offense. So they gave up 2 goals in the last 5 minutes trying to push players up. So sometimes the score is not indicative. To show that, they met in the regional final, and Fallston only won 2-1.
That's incredible. It shows how competitive these two teams can be against each other and how any given day you never know how it's going to end up.
Well, and also I do remember that game, the 3-0 game. Patterson Mill was down 4 starters, and we knew some of the players, and that's a big factor. Now, our lead referee here is Dan Vest, personal friend of mine, and then the side ref is Owen Rickson. Carrie Johnson's a trainer, and I have a special attachment to Carrie because she's helped heal this old body before as a physical therapist. And
emphasis on old.
She's always, when she sees me at events, she's like, "Hey Ray, how you holding up? What's hurting right now? What's broken?" I'm like, "Too many to list." Travis knows too well that just getting out of bed some days for Dad is a challenge. Jared Clark is the AD, wonderful guy, and the principal is Sean Abel at Patterson Mill. So now we're going to have our national anthem here. Very nice.
So these headsets tune out a lot of our noise around us, but I got to shout out Patterson Mill student section because I could still hear them through it, supporting our teams and supporting these girls.
So, Travis, here's some interesting lineups here. Soccer lineups are more and more sophisticated these days. So, right now, for Patterson Mill, they're playing a 4-4-2, and their diamond is in the back. So they have Jalen Mayfield Rice at left back, Sarah Muller at right back, Madeline Waladarskik, and Abby Wysong down the middle. Abby's doing what we call sweeping, folks. Sarah McNerney is the left midfielder, and we have Addison Harm, and we have Ava Robertson in the middle, then Kendall Brown on the right mid. Juliet Bujak and Hayden Price are the lineups for the forwards for them. For Fallston, I'm really excited to see what this does, Travis. They're playing a flat back three, and I forgot to say the goalie for Patterson, Leah Reinhardt, number one for them is Ella Schreiner. And that's a job, Travis, that I say every time that I didn't want to do, and neither did you. We tried to put Travis in the goal a couple of times, and he did like I did. He used his feet in the goal more than he used his hands. So on Fallston, their goalie is Leah Reinhardt. Their three defenders are Casey Resch, Victoria Goad, and Hayden Mills. Then they have a five-man player midfield, which I love. Ava Lambros on the left and Ruby Riddell on the right. But they have Sarah Ferrali and Cindy McLaughlin, front two center middies, and Abby Richard in the back of them. Elena Williams and Rachel Harding are up top at forward. So what they do with that, Travis, is those three midfielders kind of play off each other. They do a little bit of overlapping each other and make runs through each other.
Yeah, those triangles that you can see on the field that they make with their formations, it's a perfect way to clog off the middle, but like you said, they could play off each other, and it's a great offensive attack.
So right now you see, look at all these players you see right around the ball, Travis. That's a lot of players within a 15-yard area. So what you're going to want here, either team gets the ball, they're going to want to do what we call switching fields and get it to the open side of the field as quickly as you can. Pinned in there, but wow, she found the foot there very nicely.
That was a good seam to get that pass through.
She's got a little seam there. Now this is where you worry about the turf. She saved it. Okay. She blocks it. See if she can get a service across the field here. Nice turn by the defender.
Way to step up from number 21.
Yeah,
keep it in their end.
She kind of anticipated that very nicely. So what you'll see more and more here is you should keep the ball on the ground for this. You should have more touch passing, give and go. And like right now, again, nice shot for the cameraman. There's literally probably about 14 girls in that area over there. So you want to get the ball across field as quickly as you can.
A lot more green grass on that side.
Well, sometimes what you'll see is a throw into a teammate's foot, back to the thrower, and then they can serve it to the other side.
This is where I'm guessing we're going to have that key sub for the power throw in.
Yeah, let's see what you got. That's pretty strong.
Yep. Wow. Ball's bouncing around the box. This could be interesting.
So last night we had one of the players in the North Hartford Tech boys game that could throw the ball to the far post. For a girl to throw it mid-box like that, that was impressive. Okay, she did a good job holding them off there. So they look like they like to get the ball on this right side a little bit more for Patterson Mill. So far this year, folks, Patterson Mill is 2-1, and they beat Bowmanor 2-0 and Elkin 3-2, and they lost 3-0 to Sparrows Point. Oh, we got a nice service here. Let's see if we get a clear, and we do. Found her
good
foot.
Ball up.
Oh, she blocked it. Let's see what she hits. I think that's the Bujak girl, showing some Juliet there. A nice burst of speed there.
Number 7 on Fallston has made 2 key plays for them, getting the ball out of their end and putting it in play for the Cougars.
That would be Sarah Ferrali. So do we have our first corner kick here? Okay. So I always like to see, Travis, whether you have an outswinger or an in-swinger. So sometimes they put a right-footed person, and the ball is going to go more towards the end line, which is what's going to happen here. They're not allowed to kick the ball out of bounds in the air, though. So it is considered out of bounds. That's a nice ball. That should be a strike. Deflection.
That's another scary spot to be.
Yeah.
You talked about the goalie being one of those center midfields or center defenders in the box while the ball's bouncing around. That can be intimidating.
Yeah, we saw a big playoff game years ago between Seamount Wright boys and another team where 2 of the goals that were scored against them were on deflections in the box on corner kicks.
Good ball again.
So that's 2 perfect services. We need, Fallston needs to get somebody running onto that ball.
Someone's got to be on that back post. That's key to, one, get it in there if you can get a body part on it, or to just keep it in play like you said.
So she chose to trap that and then put it through.
Oh, good save.
Wow. If that ball gets by her, it's probably not going in, but it's going to be close because there was a defender backing that up. So the goalie for Patterson Mill is Ella Schreiner making that great save. Okay, found the foot. Good shield off right here. Push it through. It's going to be another corner.
Fallston's keeping the pressure on, but Patterson Mill is not backing down.
So one thing you'll notice about the turf, Travis, is a lot of times players like to go for that beautiful upper 90 shot. But if you can hit the ball hard on a low ball off the turf, it's speedy, and it can get by the goalie. And she barely got her hands on that one.
Oh, hey, if I knew I had a camera on me, I'd be going upper 92. There we go. We got a goal kick coming up. Good defense from Patterson Mill in there.
Yeah, that would be one of the reasons I enjoyed coaching girls more, because they didn't try to do the highlight stuff like go upper 90 when your coach is saying. So there's a saying in goalkeeping, Travis, it's easier to dive up than it is to dive down. So that's why us old coaches say, put that worm burner by the goalie. So she got 2 head balls on that, but she wasn't able to clear it. And Joliet's putting some instant pressure on them. That was very cunning by Sarah McNerney. She knew she couldn't get the ball, but she literally, I'm talking about the defender. The defender, Sarah McNerney, ran her off that ball. Isn't it, Sarah?
No, that was 18.
Oh my
Kendall
gosh.
Brown. Sorry about that.
They look like each other.
Oh, good throw.
Now, I was a pretty clean coach, and I would teach you all how to play clean physical, and that's what they did on that last play. Now, that's a nice through ball, but I don't know if she can get around there. Got to shield it by the defender now.
And that's a great play from Sarah on the left side. Way to get her body in there, turn it upfield.
So is Sarah on the right side now over there? That's the right side for them, yeah. Oh, left side going out, you're right. Confused me by which way they were running with the ball. That's an awkward position there, Travis, having to run towards your own defense with a lot of people on your back. Now, one thing you'll see in soccer now, and we discussed this in other games recently, is teams will use their goalkeepers a lot more than they used to. Goalkeepers now have to have good foot skills, because you'll see drop passes to them.
Yeah, if you engage your goalkeeper, you can make it an 11-on-10 game real quick.
So nice ball in the middle there. Just defended.
There's number 7 on Fallston with a good run up again, up the middle again.
So Mike Parker said that they've got 5 freshmen on the team, Travis, and they're starting 4 of them. Well, that's a questionable call, but not called. I like that no call by Danny Best. It was both players kind of ran into each other, and I think they kind of equally tripped each other there.
Yeah, when it's tricky to tell who committed the foul, they'll leave it up to advantage and see who can get to the ball first. If it's in favorable of whichever player or team the ref believes was the person that committed the foul, they'll let it play.
Especially when it's that wide on the box, you don't really want to have to call a penalty kick there. Some people will go, you know, penalty kick, but I like there's no calls. So Danny's been refereeing for a long time, and I know Danny way back from playing soccer with him and against him, though I think he's younger than me. I appreciate these people giving back to refereeing, because it is not an easy thing to do.
And the simple play from number 19 on Fallston, I believe that is Sydney McLaughlin, even gathering that ball just down to the ground so she can get a solid pass to her defender. Simple plays like that look routine, they can be tricky, and it can turn the vibe of the game.
So good ball control there, again by Ruby Rydell. So I would not want that job back there, Travis. We just saw our sweeper, center defender Victoria Goad have to clear that ball with people attacking at her. That central defender has to read the game very well.
And you were talking earlier about the goalie being a good impact. We saw a play there where two differing styles, where Patterson Mill might be going for the long punt, but we saw our goalie on number 1 take the quick roll out to her left defender and look for a quick opportunity to get the ball upfield.
I like to see that nice pass. I saw that run coming. Now the center forward needed to come back for that ball to keep that play going, but that was a good step up by the defender. By step up, we mean you're stepping in front of the offensive player and stealing the ball.
Another important time where the team can step up in general is a few times either the Cougars or the Huskies have been clearing the ball out of their end, and you'll see a big rush of their defense moving up the field to gain that field possession, because that can be big. If you hang out in the back and you give them a little bit more room to play, the same counteract can go to you.
So there's multiple terms for that, and what they're trying to do, Coach, fans, is they're trying to also pull the other team off sides a lot. And if the other team, I don't like to use this term too much, but has a couple really athletic fast forwards, but they're a little bit lazy on getting back to midfield when the other team clears it, they'll get caught off sides as soon as their midfielders play it right back in. This is a tough ball. Well, that was sitting right on the 1 foot line. I was amazed by how patient the Fallston girl was.
And so that right there, folks, is an example of offsides. We had a player behind all the defenders. They have to be on the defensive side of the last defender in order to receive a pass.
So there has to be one defender besides the goalie between you and the goal. Like not directly between, but if you draw a parallel line across the field, closer to the goal line. Now, Travis, last night in our boys' game, we had 3 of the 5 goals were scored because the defensive team had a hard time clearing the ball. Oh, that's a nice strike. There's a little bit too much curve. What a save.
That's that effort that we were talking about. I would not be willing to do that.
No,
so props to the Cougar goalie.
I would dive for a head ball, but I wasn't diving to catch a ball. So we have what we call turnovers in sports, errors in sports. Football is known for turnovers. Baseball, softball known for errors. Soccer errors can cause goals too. So last night, 3 times, 2 players looked at the same ball and they were like thinking they had it. And while they were going to kick the ball, the offensive player just said, okay, I'll just kick this ball in. And you can't do that. You have to have good communication and leadership in the back.
I think that even connects all the way back to, we were talking about their matchups last season, how it can be a 3-0 matchup and then it can be a 2-1. Where I'm sure in that first game, there might have been little mistakes that Fallston was able to capitalize on. So we're going to be interesting to see who can do that tonight.
Well, sometimes you'll see goals scored in the scrum, and I will be interesting to see what Coach Solbeck does with the corner kicks. Because if you guys were playing for me and our corner kickers served 2 beautiful balls across the box and nobody touched them to ball, I wouldn't be happy. I'd be telling you, Travis, at least get a head ball on it, like deflect it to another teammate, anything.
Right. And we're seeing a lot of hustle from both teams here. This could be one of those turning points where we could get a breakaway because of that extra effort at the end.
So this ball should roll all the way out, but let's see if she saves this. She does. It was a wise decision because I couldn't quite tell who that deflected off of last. A little push in the back here got away with. Sometimes the turf can be your friend and sometimes it's not. If you push the ball too fast, it eventually starts going faster than you on the dribble. So for those who don't know how tough it is to dribble full speed, try to do it on turf and keep it close to your feet. It's really impressive what they can do. So here we go. Nice ball. Stolen. See if she can save it. So I got a little confused there by the lines, Trav.
I was just about to talk about that.
The yellow line is the out of bounds, and what they have here is they have another white box, and I think that's for benches in football games, and it's where the teams can be without. Officials don't like coaches being able to go all the way up and down the sideline. It's kind of a restraining area.
It's a stay back line.
Yes, I used to be restrained. Sometimes Travis and my other players would be like, Coach, you need to get back near us somewhat here. I guess I wasn't allowed to actually take the corner kick myself when I was coaching, so. Nice burst of speed on that move there.
I know I keep coming back to her, but Sarah Farrelly on Fallston is doing a really good job giving her team some chances.
Was that her just went down the right sideline?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, some really good touch skills on the trapping here on both teams. Even when they're having the ball come thigh high, waist high, they're able to bring the ball down to their feet very quickly. Probably the unheralded skill in soccer.
Mm-hmm.
The players want to practice dribbling and shooting and scrimmaging, but you have to have good trapping skills.
Especially those body traps. It's coming out your chest, it's coming out your thigh. Being able to bring the ball out of the air and settle it down, it's a lot more difficult than it might look.
This young lady has a really good throw also. I mean, she threw that ball a good distance down that sideline.
That just made it from the 45 to the 25.
Whoa, there's a hard foul there.
So that was a situation where there might have been a little delay from the actual act of the foul, from the call. Even though the nature of the foul looked a little bit harsher, the ref was still giving Patterson a chance to see the play through in case it went in their favor.
So that's called, like, one people call that possession. Like, it's, to Travis's point, if Patterson would have regained the ball right away and had a really good offensive surge, then they'll give him that advantage. That's a nice service there. Now, see how fast that ball got on the goalie all the way from out there? Somebody's got to come in the way of that ball and just try to deflect it or something. It's hard to do without getting offsides, though.
Right.
Nice job, both sides, trying to body trap and head the ball. Got a little foul there by accident there, so that's why I don't think they called it. Good job by the forward, the left defender coming all the way up for that ball. Oh, look at that pullback move, just out of bounds.
Good play, though, on Sarah again.
I think Travis's player of the game is already obvious early. Let's see if somebody else picks up the. So, again, that long throw. Now that you're all the way down here, you could throw this ball to the top of the 18 and the 15-yard line. But when I was talking about a head ball before, you're not going to score usually from where the ball lands. So you want like a continuation of the ball with like a back header or side header and hope somebody else can run onto the ball. One person got it there, but nobody else ran onto it. And I think that was last off of
Patterson.
Yeah. I almost thought the defender had a little body on it too, but obviously they could see the game a lot better than we can from this distance. So now we got our fan section being rowdy over there. They're booing something. I think it must be opposing fans, or maybe it's one of their teachers that they don't like, Trav. I don't know. They showed up at the game. I don't know. No, we're always happy to see faculty members come out and support.
Good step up from our sweeper in Patterson Mill.
She stole that, but then she lost control. She still possessed that. Okay.
Wow.
She wanted to do more with that, but she didn't have a whole lot of time to think. She hit it right at the goalie. The goalie had good hands there.
Absolutely.
That might be one that you do need to lift because the goalie was out, cutting the angle off. So you saw that ball bounce high when she couldn't trap it the first time. Nice save and drop pass, but it's a little bit dangerous being back there.
What a smart play from Patterson Mill. The smooth pullback, let the other team hit it out.
Yeah,
you know someone's on your hip.
she was going to have a hard time clearing that, so that was very smart. Let's see if that number is. Is that 16
Looks
back
like 16, maybe Abby Wysong.
there? It could be. Yes, center defender. So they're playing this diamond defense, folks. In the back person is called a sweeper, and the front middle defender is called a stopper. The sweeper's job is to quarterback the defense. Anytime anybody gets past the left or right defender, she's got to sweep up behind them and defend that wing that got past their defense. And then when the stopper misses the ball, they have to do the same. Now, they're the ones that tell their other teammates to pull up after a clear and try to get the other team off sides. And they also kind of, you might see them every once in a while pointing and barking out a few orders of you got that person, you got that person.
No doubt, and I think that's why, talking about the leadership, it looks like Abby is a junior, one of our veteran athletes on the team. So that helps with that leadership and the trust from your teammates, when to pull up, when to stay back, when to commit, when not to.
Now, you said that name rang a bell, Trav, because there's a lot of good athletes in that family through the years here.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I understand the Wysongs are a pretty athletic family, especially in the Patterson Women's Soccer Club over the few years. So it's good to see that Abby's still keeping the namesake through the program.
Yeah, we often, Travis coaches summer swim with me, and we love to have big families of athletes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
One's moving on, and you got still 3 more coming along. And that's nice for them. Like we have Sarah McNearney here playing as a freshman for Patterson Mill, and her mom is a good friend of our family and her parents. And her brother Jack is back from West Virginia for the weekend, coming to watch his sister.
Yeah, and senior Emma, also a Husky.
Yeah.
Got a whole family out here tonight.
I always look for Jack in the crowd, Trav, but I think West Virginia is one of those stadiums that has 100,000 seats, so it's kind of hard. We'd see him if he was there. He stands out with the red hair, but
Go Nears.
So good battle right here by both girls. Strange deflection there.
And that's a smart play. That's another underrated pass from number 10. Look for the safe pass, and that gives you a good opportunity like they just got right there. Ooh, way to stay on it.
So number 10, that was Casey Resch. She's supposed to be originally one of the defenders, but they're changing their shape now. They've got 2 girls deep on the left back here, and they've got 2 girls over there. So they must have moved her to the middle or to the stopper, is what I think they did, is moved her to stopper.
And that could say 2 things. It could say smart move on the coach to see a game time decision that you might need to adapt to what your opponent is doing, or if it was a in-game decision by the girls themselves, also super impressive.
Look at that burst of speed there by number 7, Sarah Ferrali. I mean, she just came through a crowd, and she still serves it. Oh, that ball's loose. I was going to say, I'd be looking for a one-time strike there. That was the right idea. She was just off to the left, but she knew the goalie was down and out on that one, so she was trying to lift it into the empty net. No, Sarah, like, really, she was 5 yards back on that ball. She squirted through a hole in the defense, went all the way down that left sideline with that ball, cut it back, and had a nice right-footed service.
Oh,
out.
Good play. This will be a Husky throw.
So we're down to the 17:40 mark, and it's still 0-0. This is a really good game.
You love to see 2 close competitors, both 2-1 coming into it, like you mentioned. So this could be a really important game moving down the season.
So the defender wants to move to the outside for the clear, and the offensive player is trying not to let her, but she still got the ball out. That was impressive.
This is one of those really important times that Patterson Mill's defense can push up, gain some field position, and see if they can pour it on Fallston. Good step up.
Julia Bujak presents a challenge for the Fallston defense. So they know they can't let her get the ball, so they're really trying to be aggressive when challenging her for the ball, because you can already tell she has a real good burst of speed, and you don't want to have a one-on-one there. Keep her calling that ball. Good job.
So that type of pass that we saw from Fallston, we call it a through ball. When you see a gap in the defenders, We had our left defender a little bit off to the side, center defender, but an opening in the middle. You can play it right through the defense and see if you can get an offensive run for one of your teammates.
So this should be a one-time clear. So this game is a lot in the, we normally talk about thirds, the defensive third, middle third, and offensive third. It's kind of been in the, if we did it by quarters, the third quarter. It's been between the 50-yard line and the 20-yard line a lot for Fallston. Patterson needs to find a way to break out here. This could be it.
Another underrated player I'm seeing on Fallston is our right back, number 3, Hayden Mills. She's given Fallston 2 really good opportunities with a breakaway out of the defense and a good ball played in the middle for her forwards to try to finish.
Yeah, they're throwing me off here, Trav. Both teams are having some players on opposite sides of what it originally said. Hayden was supposed to be listed as number 3. I thought that was number 2 over here. Let's see what that is. Yeah, it's a 2. So who is number 2 for Fallston?
Number 2 is Addison Reese. She's our left back. Good play right there on the ball as we're talking about her.
So she's a sub in from Casey Resch for Addison Reese. So what you'll see sometime, Travis, is matchups. You'll see a coach see a matchup problem, and they'll maybe move their more physical player to another spot, their faster player to another spot. I think that's why we saw the switch and stopper for Fallston, is they really wanted to make one of their more aggressive players go there and kind of control the middle. So I'm not sure what the fans are arguing about here, but
it looks like there was just some confusion on where the free kick was supposed to be from.
Which, ironically, is not a very big deal in that area. The 30 to 40 yard line of your defense, or the 35 or the 45. I mean, sometimes you'll see that ball played long, and sometimes you'll see a touch pass and somebody try to dribble it up.
Looks like we had another substitution for Fallston. Number 7 is going out, and number 19, Sydney McLaughlin's subbing in.
So you remarked earlier that the goalie rolled the ball out, and in all honesty, last night in our boys' game, we only saw one rollout or throw. And I like the controlled rollout when possible, because you can get it right to a person's foot. The punts can be good, but it's pretty much a 50-50 ball.
That's a smart tactic you see there from Fallston, a quick throw. Try to catch the defense on their heels, sleeping a little bit, see if you can get behind them, or even just like that one did, gain just some more field possession, and then you can get settled.
Oh, nice cutback and
goal.
So let's get that number, Trav.
It looked like number 17 possibly on Fallston. Let's see when they clear out the pack. Either way, awesome goal on the side netting on the left of the goal.
That was a nice strike. So I'm not sure if it was 17 or not, because they were just patting number 4 on the back too. Okay, let's see here, Trav. Head ball to the middle, little cutback move. Yeah, it looks like it's number 4. It was number 4 for Fallston, and that's
Natalie Shromsky.
Yeah, and she was not even one of our starters, and she must have made a big impact on the game.
That's huge, and hey, that's just exactly what you're talking about. Sometimes you need that added energy from the bench. Those players can come in, give you some, give you a boost, and Natalie just brought it in for the Cougars. So great shot, great play.
Yeah, that was the highlight reel kind of goal, Trav, that you were talking about enjoying to have. She put that ball up high and hard. The real key there was she won the loose ball, got it by the defender, and then had a chance for the strike. So we have a 1-0 lead now for Fallston, and it's kind of really important that Patterson Mill keeps it 1-0 at the most going into half, or evens it up. You can play a different style with the lead in soccer, Travis. Now that's a good ball. And a big clear here.
Good clearance from Patterson Mill.
So this will be interesting. You have a 1-on-1 here. Oops, that's a foul. In all honesty, it looked worse than it was. Her eyes were totally on the ball. She did not see that the defender was, and they were just kind of running into each other. But good call by the official.
There's that short pass to get the play started too. Let it develop in front of you.
So you don't see, they only have 2 people up on Patterson Mill, which, you know, isn't uncommon, but they seem to releasing the ball for, you know, Juliet to try to run on one-on-one. Fallston is sliding to feet on their passes through more often. I think Juliet's going to need to wait for some support, like maybe bump the ball backwards, and then they build the play and maybe link some passes together, because they look like they're looking for the breakaway pass, which isn't normally the style you want to use on turf. You want through balls and 4 or 5 passes setting up a goal. Okay, they're barking out some instructions here on what they want to do. Okay, now we got both players for Patterson Mill backed off on that. That's a good ball. She's going to fight it right back, so let's see if she gets some kind of
good cutback.
She does. Beats her. Should be a corner kick on this. That was a great job down that right side, and I want to say that was number 8 or 6.
Looks like number 8. It could be Olivia Rotella.
Yes, and she made 2 or 3 really nice moves there, and then forced them to deflect that ball out of bounds. Now here's that service. Got 1 head ball on it. Good job by the defender to clear it out to the right side here. Now we've seen a couple big throws for Patterson Mill. Let's see if Fallston has any big throws. Nope, they went for the short throw. Oh, she's free. A little bit wider than she wanted there. She's going to save that. Nice high ball.
This could be anybody's ball. Good
wow.
call, keep.
Jeez. She skied for that ball, Travis. Ella Schreiner there on the high pointed that ball, as they say, at big time. It was a dangerous drop there. She could go. Good job defending. Another strike. That was a quality shot for having to hold the player off and use your left foot like that.
Good head.
Yeah, nice back header there. So looking for a little through pass there. As you can see, they're leading their forwards, and the defenders are back there with time to get the ball. Oh, I think that was a pretty clean play there in my mind. She came away and took the ball away, but got the call against her. Don't usually say things against the referees, but I might have played on with that one. So that's a little bit nice run out. Oh, that's a trip there.
We saw a good example of Fallston switching the fields like we were talking about earlier. You can utilize your sweeper, your outside defense to quickly get it from one side to the other. See if you can bring it up the field.
So one thing I would do if I was Patterson Mill, Travis, is there's a big gap between the 2 forwards for Patterson Mill and the defenders. And every time Patterson Mill midfield and defense pushes the ball out, it's going right to the Fallston defense with nobody challenging them for the ball. So sometimes I tell my forwards, stand 1 yard away from their defender. Don't let them get that ball. Now that's a nice service.
That was a solid strike.
Yeah, she trying to sneak that into the near post there.
And you mentioned the that gap in the field for Patterson. That could be a halftime adjustment that we see.
Yes.
We're about 7.5 minutes left in the first half. It'll be interesting to see if they come out with any different tactics.
In particular, the second and the center defender for Fallston is totally no one near her. And I would put somebody up right on them. Now we got the subbing going on. Getting the ball out on goal kicks isn't as easy as people think. You have to have what you call your players on ball side shielding the ball. It was a pretty good job by number 3, but she needed to control that and then turn with it. Nice deal. Now here's a chance. Ooh, I would have maybe dribbled that ball and possessed it a little bit. Keeper should come out and get that. Did not come out and get it, so the sweeper did a good job and cleared that ball. Abby Weissong's doing a good job back there. She's clearing up most inside the 30 opportunities. That one ball was not in her territory when the girl took that nice shot.
Yeah, it might be a common misconception to think that sometimes the forwards, or especially the center forwards, are some of the fastest people on the team. That sweeper, that last defense, they got to have that track down speed, and it looks like that's exactly what Abby's got.
Okay, drop pass here. You notice the drop pass to the right defender, and then they serve it all the way across field. That's a nice play. That's a nice shot.
Wow, just missed. Great strike.
Yeah. So we got 5:55 to go in this half. Now Mike Parker's a very smart coach. I've known Mike for a long time, and him and Brad Crosley, his assistant, they will make the halftime adjustments here. Just a matter of whether the team will follow through on their advice. John Solbeck is assisted by Adam Lasky and Penelope Sakelis.
Good job calling for that ball keep.
You see that right in the face. Let's see if they'll play on. You see that big distance between the defense and the forwards here, and that's where we need some pressure. Fallston is definitely a ball control team.
And I love, we were talking about it earlier, they're really engaging their goalie into some of these passes. And it's either helping them just get the ball out, or right now, let's see if they can get a breakaway from the play out the back.
And this should be a service across the field. Nice job. So one thing I think Fallston does that's a little bit unheralded, Travis, they have defense from the top. So when their forwards for Fallston lose the ball, they fight for the ball immediately. And they win some of the balls and they attack again immediately. It's a nice crowd here on a Thursday night. Can't really see it as much now because the sun's going down, but we had a beautiful view here. You can see the baseball field, you can see the track right in front of us, but there's other fields around us. Good skyline across from us.
Patterson Mill's got a beautiful campus.
Did a baseball game here last year. It's back behind the soccer field to the right here. Very beautiful own little area back there. And there's neighborhoods right on top of us, right across the street. But it's just still very quaint. So we have a stop in action here. Must be an injury of some sort. Seeing what's happening here. Somebody must have gone down on the sideline here that they're attending to. There's a snake present. Okay.
That's a great shot right there.
There is a snake on the field, folks, and let's see if this official got him. Oh, he doesn't know how to do it. Do I need to go out there, Trav? Nope. Step on it first, dude. Step on it.
Well done.
I don't know if he didn't get bit, though.
Shout out, Owen. Good play, my man.
Travis knows I was the dumb kid when I was little that used to catch snakes.
Now he's the dumb old man.
You're supposed to pin him down behind the neck, then you grab him. I hope he didn't get bit there. The
This is your moment, Owen.
The goalie's like, you're my MVP now. Okay, that's a new one for me, folks.
Hartford TV first.
Snake on the field. I'll have to ask Don Morrison later on if he's ever had creatures on the field before.
We're not even at Hartford Tech and we're getting some Cobra action.
I'm sure there have been rabbits and cats and dogs on the fields before, but the snake, that's a new one. I'm surprised the girls got as close as they did. They were like right there checking it out. When we take my wife to Travis' mom to the zoo or something, she doesn't want anything in the part of the reptile section.
All right, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. I can't honestly recall the play that happened before.
Yeah, it's
Is it
just
gonna
going to
be a free
be
kick? Is it gonna be a
whoever's
drop?
possession it was, they'll either give them a throw in or a drop ball. There it is. We got a crowd over here fighting for the ball. Patterson Mill's going to have to start finding feet, Trav, instead of just worrying about outrunning people.
Good step up, sorry.
Yeah, Fallston's doing a good job of just, look at that right there. Went right through her teammate's foot, even though she couldn't gather it. That's what turf does for you. It gives you controlled passes. If you can win the trap and possess it. But one thing that you'll see sometimes is you might have the ball, but your teammates have to show you an open pass. They have to move to a pocket in the field and sometimes put their hands out like, here, put it to my feet. Nice drop and clear.
I also think the that run we saw from Fallston a second ago is also due to those formations that their coaches are using. That was that stopper on Fallston that they're right in the middle of the field. They're in between the center midi and the sweeper, so it fills in that gap we were talking about. But it gives a perfect opportunity to run right through one and bring it up for their team.
And she's doing that job on top of the fact that Patterson, they have basically what they call, that girl is actually, Trav, they call it their back center midi.
Oh, defensive
so
center
it
mid.
looks like a stopper, but it's almost the same thing. It's just you're just giving them the ability to be a little bit more aggressive offensively.
Good.
Nice pass. Okay, that's a deflection, so
that's looking
that
at
would be a corner. So this is the chance that Patterson Mill needed. So let's see what they could do with it. They've got a little over 2 minutes left here. This is where sometimes I send a little bit more numbers up, Trav.
Yeah.
You see two more players coming up here soon. They might come into the screen. They're running into the box now. So there they go. Now this is a little bit different. They're already on the goal. I often see teams break into. They're breaking away, and then they break back. Oh, that's in that area.
Good clearance. There's Abby Wysong trying to make a step up for the Huskies.
Now you have a 4-on-3.
Good contain from number 13 on Patterson Mill. That was Madeline with a great defensive play to slow down the offensive attack on Fallston.
So that one was served all the way across field. I might have wanted to see a little bit more possession because our right midi, right wing over there for Fallston, she's put some speed on her runs, and they've had a hard time keeping up with her. Nice moves. Now she's trying to find a foot. A little bit too much there. She needed a teammate to show herself. Out here wide.
Good. Slow it down a bit.
Now
Good
she's looking for
service.
that big ball. There it is. Now she's going to run up. Couldn't quite clear that.
Get it on the ground.
So bouncing ball, you might see a ball. Oh, she was smart. She just played it right to the sideline.
Slow it down. Let your team come back for you.
Now that clock, scoreboard clock, is the actual clock. And it gets down here within 20, 15 seconds. I start sending all kind of people up.
Yep.
So she flicked that ball over them. Goalie's got to come get that. No, but she let it roll out. So now you're false, and you're just trying to delay this kick a little bit here and just kill the clock. So she did a smart thing there, Trav. She was like on the one side, and she ran it all the way across to the other side, killed 15 seconds. Now she looked at the clock, being a little obvious now. Like, I'm not killing the whole time here, ref. What are you talking about? So good exciting half, Travis. I mean, I thought that Patterson Mill came out the first 10 minutes pretty even, but then I felt like Fallston kind of took control of the game. What are your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. I think, I mean, like we said, coming into it, two really competitive teams, and a lot of action in between the 40s, right? We have going a little back and forth. Fallston definitely did get there, controlling for a second, and it shows.
Okay, so we're going to have, we'll recap the second half a little bit more. Right now, at the 14-minute mark, Natalie Shromsky had a beautiful goal. She had a little cut back and strike into the goal, and giving her team a 1-0 lead. And we're looking for some coaches' adjustments at halftime, but we'll be right back with second half action soon, folks. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the second half action of this high school sports showcase event on Hartford TV. We are here at beautiful Patterson Mill High School Stadium for a match between the Patterson Mill Huskies and the visiting Fallston Cougars. And this is a good match, Travis. I mean, 1-0, but really only a couple good opportunities for Fallston. So besides that one strike, most of the other one the goalie was able to get pretty easily. Yeah,
it looks like Patterson Mill's holding it down pretty good. Started out pretty competitive between the two of them, ball a lot between the 40. I'd say around the 20-minute to 10-minute mark, Fallston got a little bit more control. And like we were talking about earlier, these are two really athletic, competitive teams. But being able to get that ball on the ground, working some good passes, it's turned out in Fallston's favor. And I think that's what's leading us to our 1-0 lead.
So I wanted to point out a few things here for the fans. Patterson Mill went to the state final 2015, 16, and 17 and lost Asparis Point, which is a kind of a powerhouse team of a state champion. And then they won in 2019. And again, the last 2 years, Fallston won. So great representation out of these two schools. Look at a good shot of our fan crowd over here. And now we got our Fallston girls getting a little pep talk right before the game from their coaches.
And that huddle they're showing right now, that's important, not only from their coaches, but from each other. That builds that trust. That builds some camaraderie between your teammates. And getting a little excited and pumped just like our Huskies are right now. That could help you carry it into the second half.
Well, sometimes what I like to do, Travis, especially if we're losing a close game, and you've seen me do this before with you all, sometimes I like to let my captain speak and my seniors speak. And sometimes they hear the message better from a teammate that they respect. So Fallston is listed as 2-1, but they've also had some scrimmages, and I'm not sure which games are which, but they beat North Hartford 2-1. They beat Allegheny 5-0, and they beat Bel Air 3-0. That's impressive because Bel Air usually have strong teams. Now, their losses were very credible private school teams. St. Paul's 2-1, Mercy 2-1, and John Carroll 5-3. Those are three of the top teams in the state all over. Nice. Now you can drop the ball immediately from the kickoff, Trav. You didn't used to be able to do that years ago.
I really wanted to touch on that. There's a lot of new rule changes to the youth soccer, youth sports in general. One, for safety, obviously the biggest focus. But small rules like that, it keeps the speed of the game up, kind of like we've got the pitch clock in baseball. Speed of the game, some of those, hate to use the word ticky-tacky rules, but you know what I mean with having somebody else in the circle there. Good to see that the game is evolving.
So you see there, our referee was smart on this side. The girl tried to gain like 20 yards of starting where the throw-in is, which is a common thing that most soccer players try to sneak there, but they've really cracked down on that. The one rule change that I really thought was interesting, Travis, is you used to have to clear the goal kick out of the box to your teammate. Now, goalie can just do a little touch pass to their defender and they can dribble it out or pass it out. Little fighting in the midfield here in the middle 30. Both teams trying to get control of the ball here. It's a nice through ball there. Good turn. Deflected off of the Fallston player. Looks like it should be Patterson Mill's throw in here.
Yep.
So we are going to have 38 minutes here for us to see if Patterson Mill can tie this game up. That was a nice strong throw in again. Now she's going to try to switch that field.
Good
that
ball.
Was very good. Now it might be a little bit too fast, but we'll see. Nice save. Now, people wonder the difference there between that. It's really a catch-22 there. You don't mind a team throwing the ball in their defensive 10. In younger kids soccer, I like to make them have to kick the goal kick because they don't kick the ball as far. But some of these girls can strike the ball pretty far downfield now. Hard low ball, got through.
We've been seeing a lot of those tonight, and I really think that's a turf thing.
Yes.
It's a lot harder to get underneath and get some height on it through the turf, whether if it's on grass and you got a nice soft spot you can prop it up on. You can't do that as much here sometimes.
Yeah, on a still ball or a ball dribbling away from you, it's hard to lift it. If it's coming at you, you can get some lift on it. That's why I used to do when we played on turf. I used to have our free kick. Oh, she was a little hesitant on that. I used to let one person drop the ball slightly to the other person to then strike it because then they could lift it. I wouldn't want to be the goalie on turf unless I had knee pads and elbow pads because then that turf monster gets you once in a while. When you get home, you take that shower, you find all those raspberries.
And maybe a helmet and a face mask and gloves.
Well, that's what you and I would do, because we're not brave enough to play goalie.
Cats.
Yes.
Good hesitation move.
Yeah. Nice defense fighting back for the ball.
Good step up from number 3.
Again, you're seeing the Patterson Mill players have difficulty getting a good clear to a teammate's foot. So Fallston just keeps stepping back. That's why you're seeing more and more possession from their team. Now she's going to probably punt this ball. Nice through ball. Good job fighting off. So that's what we call a legal shield. The one player kind of shielded the people off the ball and did a good job so that their sweeper could clear it. Now here's that long ball again, and Patterson Mill forwards are just too far off the ball. Another foul.
You see a lot of those long balls headed towards the corner too. That's to give their teammate a little bit more time. You play it too far to the sideline, you're worried about a throw in. You play it too far to the end line, you're worried about getting into the goalie. You got to find that perfect in-between spot that a lot of these girls are hitting so far. Another big throw.
Yeah.
That's a skill that I could never get down, so I get so impressed every time I see it.
I used to have some girls, Travis, that could do that flip throw in.
Yeah, right.
Talk about athleticism. They're putting gymnastics into it, and they knew I had some gymnastics background and I could do flips and stuff. And they're like, come on, Coach Furs, do a flip throw. I'm like, no, I'm old now, so no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, they could get the ball to the far side of the goal on the throw in, and we scored goals off of that. Nowadays, the people that are good gymnasts, they don't play other sports, so you can't get them to play soccer. So now we're going to have a free kick in here. This is a range, Travis, and even though we said it's hard to lift the ball, they've got a couple of players that can. So you have two choices here. You either chip it softly to the over the wall, or you hit a long ball. Either one works. They're discussing it now. And the referee is marching. Dan Vest is backing the wall up of the Patterson Mill girls. They were encroaching. And, of course, he turns his back. They move up a couple feet.
You see another interesting strategy from Fallston. We got two of their own girls standing in front of it, trying to shield the ball from the defense. Could be, ooh.
They had a trick play there. They wanted to get the ball down in the corner to the girl that first touched it.
This could be a big counter.
But they just blocked it.
Good clearance.
So if I had one coaching suggestion that I would do, and I mentioned this in the first half, is I would push up the Patterson Mill forwards. Nice ball.
That one touch might have looked a little bit out of control, but sometimes those quick little toe pokes, they can sneak by a goalie when they're not anticipating it. So I like that shot.
Especially on turf.
Right.
So Fallston again intercepting the loose ball, putting it out there. This should be a nice run here. She should shoot it now. She did a good job controlling it. She just wasn't able to push the ball in front of her enough to get the nice leg strike on the ball.
That's that tough in-between tap of, we were talking about it earlier, do I want to give myself extra space with risk of losing it, or do I want to make sure I get that shot off?
Mm-hmm.
She went with the safe option, which I respect. It was a good shot.
So we're at the 32-minute mark here, folks, and what you're going to have happen here is both coaches are going to feel out each other right now on their formations and lineups. But as the game goes, particularly in Patterson Mill's case, they may commit more players up because they might need to.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to tie the game. Fallston, on the other hand, could decide at some point to add people to the back.
Park the bus.
Mm-hmm. Nice ball. Defense came out. Is that Abby again? Looked like it. Yeah.
One thing I want to point out too about Abby, we've mentioned it a few times, is getting those strong clearances as you're running away from your own body.
Mm-hmm.
Those are impressive when you can turn it up the field like she has been.
She's strong. I don't know if I wouldn't want to do a leg press competition against her, Travis. I think she's got stronger legs than I do now. Okay, say it. I know she does. It's okay. So let's see here. Like, if I was the left defender, nobody's marking a quick pass out to the sideline. I'd go out on that side line and just look for a little quick pass. That was the right idea there, but her teammate wasn't set up there.
That was a good play on number 6 on Patterson Mill, Hillary Poling. Let the ball go by you, let your goalie get it, get some more field possession on a good punt.
Good job there. Kind of shielded the ball off, but then actually dribbled out of bounds. I think Patterson Mill needs to find some drop passes before they go forward. They're turning a lot of their clears right into the Fallston players. Good job. No foul there. Good no call. They possessed it. Now that should be a through ball. Good job.
Good.
One more. Just needs to possess this.
That was a good set from number 2 on Fallston, Addison Reese. Way to stop the attack and turn it in their favor.
Good moves. Good second person coming
Good
in
stick.
defending. That's called team defense. Now she should push the ball here.
Ooh.
Got by her.
Oh.
That's a grab. We might have a warning there. Let me see what happens here. The referee is going towards her.
Stopping the clock.
So he's either going to give her a card or give her a warning. Now, she's not helping her calls by walking away from him when he's calling for her. It's a yellow card. That puts her in a vulnerable position. So for those of you who are wondering, that was not way violent, but it was very blatant. They had a good possession going there for Patterson Mill, and they had kind of a 4-on-2. So now what happens with that is if that same player gets another yellow card, that turns into a red. 2 yellows equals a red. And then they play a player down, and she'd have to miss the next game. Okay, here's the replay. She makes a nice quick move. Boom, toe poke, burst of speed, and then grab. Grabs her arm and pulls her back.
We had a solid direct kick from the Huskies, but Fallston was able to counter and bring it back in their side.
And a push off there they got away with.
This is where you got to worry if it's going to get chippy.
Yeah. Both teams getting a little bit mad at each other. You pulled my teammate down. Now I'm a little bit frustrated.
Go, Fallston!
So it's up to the coaches to get that under control.
Right.
Nice ball. Should not have gone through that far.
That's where the coach on Fallston is probably talking to his players on the bench right now and reminding them we got to get a body on that ball.
Well, and also back to the chippiness, both coaches are saying play the game, especially Fallston. You're winning 1-0. Don't let them get us flustered and get mad and play mad.
And you also know the refs are going to be perking up a little bit and looking for it more now.
Well, I love that the referee squashed that right away.
Mm-hmm.
He did not let that continue. So, nice win on the ball. Through ball here. Keeper comes and cuts it off nicely.
Good ball.
I'd throw this ball on the left side here real quick.
Yeah, number 5 looks open.
So one thing I used to tell my goalies is as soon as you save the ball, instant offense. I want you to come out quick with the ball and get it to somebody's feet.
And number 5, Sarah Mueller, she's another one of our juniors that could be one of our junior leaders. So the way that she handled herself after that play says a lot, too, about her as an athlete.
So I have the captains here for Fallston as Leah Reinhardt, Abby Richard, Ella Litz, Sarah Ferrali, and Ava Lambros. I don't know if we have them for the other team, do we?
Patterson Mill, it looks like it's Hayden Price, Juliet Bujak, and Addison Harmel. And another important student to key in on is Natalie Stromsky of Fallston. Our coaches shared that she's our junior class president for Fallston Cougars. So another good younger leader, but could be a future captain.
I think I have it down as at Hayden Mills.
Oh, my apologies. You're right.
But then we also have the senior class vice president in Abby Richard. So very impressive. And I'm trying to see if we have any. I know that Hayden Price and Julia Bujak would like to play college soccer, so that's something that's a good goal for them. And we have a lot of multiple sport people here, and I always like to see that. We have a lot of girls on the team playing lacrosse and softball and basketball. And Trav, we actually have Maddie Cox she wrestles. She's on the wrestling team.
It's impressive.
I did the wrestling championships last year, and you don't have a ton of girls do it, but the ones that do it are very impressive.
You also notice right now the defense, they're hanging on their 18-yard box. That's to give the opposing Cougars.
That's a tough ball.
Oh, man.
That was a turf hop there that the goalie misplayed, and Fallston just didn't quite run that in. I blame that on the formation more than reaction. I think somebody should have been coming in from wider.
Right.
And if they were, they would have been able to just body that right into the goal.
I think that kind of connects, too, to the point I was making about Patterson Mill not giving them that space. Because if you hang out on the 6-yard box,
on the back there.
If you hang out on the 6-yard box, it's going to give them that space, and they're going to be there to finish.
Yeah. There's a fine line of how far you set that wall up. You set it up too close, they have a lot of room to run onto the ball. You set it too close to the goal, then there's a scrum around the goal. That's a tough head ball to hold from way out there. Nice
going
strike.
for it. I like that shot.
Yeah, I do. I mean, you never know. Put that ball in the upper 90 and you got some.
Catch the goalie sleeping.
Make the ESPN top 10, you know. Good through ball opportunity here.
There we go.
She got behind the defense. Nice job. So you see what the goalie does there, Travis. She scoops it up with her hands and then she kind of lays on the ball. It's her way of like smothering the ball and making sure nobody's going to get in there and pick up the loose ball. Ball would have bounced off me right to somebody on the other team to put in, you know.
I'd have ran out of the way. Good stick. Good play, number 17.
Look for possession there.
That's one of our captains, Addison Harmel.
She needs help there. Come to the ball. Nope. Good take. Good strip there. Now that's that long ball, and just tough to do that on the turf with how fast the ball moves. You have to have two choices there. If you're going to hit the long ball, you have to hit it away from the goalie. So you got to put it to the left corners of the box where she might not be as comfortable running to. Gives you more time to run onto the ball, too. And you look for a backdoor pass here somewhere.
Oh, good pass.
Good burst there.
That's where you really need to make sure you get it under control, though, to beat that turf. You don't want it to get away from you.
Mm-hmm. So you got to put some pressure on them now and try to steal this ball back. Made that a little too easy for Fallston to get transition there. Got to put a little more pressure on him.
That was great team defense, too, though.
If she saves this, it's going to, nope. There would have been a lot of space to run onto that ball if she had time. So we're down at the 23-minute mark here. 1-0 still holding up for Fallston. Travis and I have no allegiances to either team. We're just excited to see a good game, and that's what we got.
So we saw off the camera there was a little collision between the Fallston and Patterson Mill girl, and since the ball went not in Fallston's favor, they're getting a free kick from a slight push in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Good kick.
I think that girl could kick for the football team if she wanted to. Jeez.
Good play in the box. One more.
Nice drop pass. Oh.
3 points. And now it is 4-0 Fallston.
We had a couple field goals last night, though. That's a little bit of an excitement play right there. Step ball, she didn't think it was going to come to her so open on her left foot, probably not her dominant foot. And she just hit it a little bit too hard under it. If she just blocks that ball to the goal, she has a chance.
I had many empty nets that I missed out on. Your heart's racing. You're just trying your best.
I still remember about 14 years old, I hit a ball over the goal from like the 2-yard line. I don't know how I did that. But I scored like 2 highlight reel goals, and then I missed the easiest opportunity in my life. So it's a strange game. That should be a shot there.
We're getting a lot of offensive activity on both sides right now. I'm loving this.
Mm-hmm.
This is an exciting game. We got 22 minutes left, still 1-0.
A lot of touches for the goalies, you're right. I mean, there, for a while there, it was being played between the 30s. That's a nice tip pass. If that gets out further, nice job. See if she can serve that. That was a good ball. She wanted to put about 2 yards more under that, but to your point before, lifting the ball with your left foot over the goalie. Now, if it gets over the goalie, that's a run the ball in the goal kind of play. So good job by the keeper.
That was a solid punt, too. That might be her furthest of the day.
Trying to shield. I like what she just did right there. Our Fallston forward, or midi, that's actually number 4 on Fallston.
Natalie Stromsky.
Yeah, our goal scorer. She shielded that ball off really well and then just did a drop pass all the way back to her left defender, and they still have control. She keeps slipping behind there. She got to serve that.
Ooh, good finish.
So 14 on the goal, and I'm trying to see who served that ball across. It might have been number 2, but we'll see. So 14 on the goal. That's Ava Lambros.
An all-around great play from Fallston. Good play to the corner, amazing service, and you got to shout out that finish.
So let's catch our number here on the service, if we can. Nice patient, number 2.
Number 2.
And then Ava just calmly puts it in, inside outside with her right foot. So Leah Reinhardt getting the assist. Oh, I'm sorry, Addison Reese. So Addison Reese on the assist there, very nice. And you know what, Travis, I was just going to note that Addison is causing a lot of trouble down that sideline.
Here we go, another good look.
She's basically just setting up the defender by like hesitating and then sprinting past her. And she's being kept on sides by the other defenders for, you know, Patterson Mill's other defenders are keeping them on side here. So there's a loose ball. I'm going to say right now that Patterson Mill needs to answer in the next 10 minutes. They need to get this back to one school game. I have knowledge of Ava Lambros as a player and athlete since she was a little girl. Her mom is one of the main people involved with Fallston Rec and Travel Soccer for years. And her mom and along with Sybil Roner put in a lot of time. And I did a lacrosse game last spring, and Ava scored like 4 or 5 goals against John
Wow.
Carroll. She's a very good athlete overall. Good job coming all the way back to that ball by Ava. And then she serves it up the sideline for her teammate to run on.
Be interesting if she waits for numbers or sees if she can get around herself.
She maintained possession. That's off of defense, so I would pick that up. They didn't realize it. So who we got down on the right sideline, Trav, that did that such a good job with that? Number 12. Number 12 for Fallston, I think that's Elena Williams. She did like a little hesitation move. She continued to put enough body on the defender, and then she earned a corner kick. Okay, they did get a little bit of a tip head, but this should be a possession if she could save this. And I wouldn't just be sending that ball downfield. I think we should have gone for a save there. She'll go right through the little hole there. Good job. Now we'll probably try to continue to control the ball in the middle of the field here. Let's see if they go for that left side again. She's looking for help, Travis. Very good patience bringing the ball backwards.
See if they can swing it around.
Yeah, they did. Wow. Around the shoehorn there, and he brought it from left, back, and all the way around. Fallston just keeps stepping in front of the ball. Nice drop pass again.
And to your point about Patterson Mill striking back with one, this is where you can tell that the Fallston coach is definitely saying something from the sideline. Slow it down, look for the easy pass. We got a 2-goal lead. And right now we also have a substitute. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of those throughout. That's a casual coaching strategy to keep them in, keep them out, keep them fresh, but also burn the clock a little bit.
Yeah, it's a fine line to coach, and I've been warned before by referees. Some of my good friends at referees are like, Ray, don't over-sub. But to your point, they just killed 30 seconds right there. And you might only do that every 2 to 4 minutes, but if you do that, and I used to tell you guys, I'd sub you on the players on the far side of the field on purpose, so it would take longer. Little foul there in the middle of the field.
I have a memory, and I'm doing air quotes, folks, of forgetting who I was going in for. And then I'd have to run back to the sideline and ask, and then go sub in.
Okay, good head ball. Wow, that's a tough head ball from that far. Oops, that ball had some weird spin on it.
Yeah, that's tricky. Way to stick with it. Good step up from number 13, Madeline Wolderzik.
Nice. Unfortunately, the player fell down there. You could trip into that turf a little bit sometimes. Now let's see if she has that spurt speed again. She does that little hesitation moves. Now she got to cut back. They're in the throw in for it. Let's see what kind of throw they could do here.
That was a good team defense from Patterson Mill. You could see that your right back could use some extra support. So that's also where that formation comes back into it. I know we keep bringing it back to it, but that extra support in the middle could really help you out. Good step up.
So now we're going to see how important the ball girls and ball boys are on the sideline, because the clock is not Patterson Mill's friend. They want to get the ball in quickly. Nice. Now this is where the goalie has to hustle, get the ball set up, because they need to get the ball upfield. I'm trying to watch the formation here, Trav, and see if I'm going to see any switching of players here. Looks like Patterson Mill is still keeping 3 in the back. They may have to commit one of those midfielders to forward. So the 5 midfield lineup, folks, is supposed to be more for ball control. It's supposed to be keep possession of the ball. But Fallston steps up so quickly and well, Travis, that they've really made it hard for Patterson Mill today.
No doubt. It's been tough for them to get a run. When they do, you see 2, 3, 4 defenders on it right away.
So this is like an important moment here to at least get a good cross. Good job by the defender.
Wow.
Now, according to my lineup here, that could have been Casey Resch or Hayden Mills out there on the outside making that good play. So Fallston goalie's in no hurry. Rightly so. Got 2-goal lead with 14 minutes to go. Ball's out of bounds. See if we get that big throw if this is the same player.
We'll bring it in the middle.
That ball's got to be tipped
Oh,
in.
outside.
Got it there. Now let's see if she can turn the hips. Again, that left defender is really causing trouble. I know you got to play some offense for me and some others, but you often played midfield. Any sport, it's just so frustrating when you're up against an outstanding defender, and you're used to having more success, but they're just skilled and tenacious, and that's what I'm seeing out of the Fallston defense today.
I think one thing that comes into play with that too is tired legs versus fresh legs.
So that was a perfect example. Our player in the middle of the field there, right around the 15-yard line there, Travis, in the middle, I'm trying to catch the number, blonde-haired young lady, was very number 3 for Fallston. She lost the ball, Hayden Mills. She made a mistake. She made a turnover, but she didn't put her head down. She fought right back for the ball and stripped it from the player who took it from her and then pushed the ball upfield. So,
Good
nice turn. I call that kind of an old man phrase, stay-to-itiveness. I'm like, she stayed with the play.
Bless you.
It's sort of a saying, Travis. It's just an old man saying. I'll just make it a better word, tenacity, okay?
There we go.
That's better. So we need that long throw in from back here to get the ball out a little bit. Nice volley back in the middle. Just put some instant pressure on them. Ava Lambros is also very fast, Travis. Besides being a skilled athlete, a smart athlete, she's very fast. And then you add to that, the left wing on their team, too, is really putting pressure on them. Ironically, Ava was supposed to start the game at left midfield, and she's been up in the offense a lot lately. So I think the Coach Saulback has saw a weakness in the defense that he wanted exposed with her speed, and it worked.
Good throw. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to shield them out.
So
that looked like a little more touchy.
Yeah, the Patterson middle player got away with a little bit too much of a shield there, but the referee decided not to call it. You can call a foul in the box. It's not a penalty kick, folks. It's just indirect. We got a goalie change here for Fallston. So I'm going to say that that's probably our backup goalie, probably Maddie Cox. I only see 2 players listed as goalies. That was nice of the coach to give her some chance there with a 2-0 lead. It's good trust. There it is again, wide open down the left sideline.
That goalie substitute really says a lot about depth on a team as well.
Look at this. See if she can turn her hips.
Corner, throw
in. So I haven't seen the big power throw in. He's telling her to go right down to the goal line. But there's that sub again, Trav.
Yep.
Far side of the field. 10:34 to go. Let's see. It started with 10:45. Let's see how much time did we get off the clock with that substitution. Just under a half a minute. But that's I would have gone for the back header there. It's not just killing the clock strategy, Trav. You do have some tired legs right now.
It's a good ball.
Depending on the schedule, you could have, she's trying to get this out for a throw in.
Wow. That's some great hustle. That was some great speed. from both of our athletes back there.
Without me knowing the master schedule, this could be third games for this team this week. So if you had any rainouts earlier in the season, sometimes you get to these 3-game weeks, and that's where the depth comes in.
Good overlap from number 20.
I like the drop pass there. I'm not really interested in the shot from there unless you have a really good lineup on the ball, and she wasn't able to turn her hips as well to get a solid strike on that. Another steal from Fallston, and she's trying to get the ball out there.
Step up.
Nice controlled drop. Finding that central midfielder there, but overstepped again.
Abby Weissong's getting a lot of action right now and putting her team in some good positions, clearing the ball out.
She might be my MVP for the game right now, Trav, because yes, we've had 2 goal scorers and 2 pretty goals, but she has shut down so much back there. Can't lose if the other team doesn't score, right? So we're down to 8:42 left, folks, and we Patterson Mills is going to need to answer real soon. Fallston's doing a nice give and go game here.
Triangle passing.
Nice pullback
Good move.
move. Now let's see if she gets one more pass down. Offsides. Beautiful play, just slightly offsides. And for those who do not, again, understand the offsides rules, she was beyond the last defender when she received the pass. Now, you could be in offside position and not be called. If you're the right wing and you're in offside position and it doesn't impact the pass and the left wing or the center forward gets a pass, they can play on.
Another situation is if there's 2 defenders that are behind all of the defense, and you play a backwards pass or a horizontal pass, lateral pass. That's also not considered offsides. Go ball to the corner. Let's see if she can get there. Got some good speed. Good save. And good pass back to number 3.
This ball needs to be served. Step up. She almost stepped up on that. Now, you talked earlier about not being able to lift the ball. That was an example. They were in a good position where if one of them could have lifted that ball, they had numbers in the box, but weren't quite able to do it.
Good give and go.
Nice. Now we need to get the ball in the goal area.
Get 17. We can do it again.
A little bit tight of a pass there. Nice spin move. Fighting back for that ball like crazy.
There we go.
Called the trip. So now we get the ball to, it's the football 10, 12-yard line, but it's probably just around the 23-yard line when you see the 18-yard box. You're going to see them do an overload here where they're putting a bunch of players on the left side. And from there, Trav, there's enough space to run on the ball if they chip it halfway between the goalie and the oncoming runners. There it is.
Right there. Oh. That was a good volley. That's hard to get your hips around that one to turn it towards the goal.
That was a good play.
Especially one-timer.
So 3 new players coming in for Fallston from the sideline. So let's see. They're rotating probably midfielders more than anybody, keeping fresh people out there. Good coaching, too, by Coach Saulback. He's getting some participation in from his hard-working subs.
Got to get it on the ground. There we go. Run through it.
Man, she fought for that ball. When one Fallston player loses the ball, Trav, there seems to be another one right in the area.
I was thinking the same thing earlier.
They
That's
anticipate very well.
Good team play.
Well, you also, the old saying in sports, you can't coach speed, and it's a great thing to have, and they have a lot of fast players. So does Patterson Mill. If I was track coach, I'd be recruiting right now. Oh, a little mix up there. Good soft trap again. Flick through.
Stay on it.
Okay, there's a little tangle up here, back here in the back, inside the box. So they're going to give Patterson Mill a free kick. So we're getting ready to go into the 5-minute mark, Travis. So the game is not over, but what are your thoughts about the games at this point?
I think it's been super competitive. I mean, two really good opportunities that Fallston got and they capitalized on. But you got to give credit where credit is due to Patterson Mill. They're fighting. They have their chances, and they're getting really close when they get in the offensive half. A lot of good possession from both teams, and just a lot of amazing and incredible athleticism from all these girls out there.
There's a good chance. Ball might make it all the way to the sideline, but so I think what our player did there was she tried to play it off of the defender, hoping for a corner kick there. Just happened to go just over the goal line by the goal. Yeah, and I'm going to go on record also, Travis, again, I talked about classifications, and we said how Fallston moving up to 2A. So they're going to be fighting C. Milton Wright and North Hartford and some other teams. Bel Air's in the 3A still with Aberdeen. But we have no 4A teams in our county, and we have 2 3A, and the rest are 1A, 2A. So I think Patterson Mill is going to make some noise in the 1A playoffs. And Travis, they have 5 freshmen.
I was just looking at that. That's
they need
exactly
time
what I was
to
looking
get
at the
to
roster.
grow on this team.
Before, to your point about the freshmen, before the varsity game, we had the JV game that we got to see the end of. And it's always good to see some promising young talent from both sides. And we definitely saw some skilled underclassmen that are going to be coming through these programs later on.
Well, and then to add to that, Patterson Mill also has 6 sophomores. So they have 11 players that are freshmen and sophomores. So those players gain confidence. Team gets some more connectivity with the passing game. It's going to be a bright season for them. Almost. Oh, poor ball girl's got to run all the way down the sideline, down the track and get the ball. But thank you for one of the administrators here for the game helping out. Now she just gained 8 yards.
I was going to say, that was a perfect example. We got a real good shot of that, of the ball going out at the 50 and the throw in at the 40.
Our referee pulled the whistle into his mouth and thought about it, and he thought, nah, 2 minutes to go in the game. And they're losing by 2. I'm not going to get that ticky-tacky right now.
So it'll be interesting to see if they use their goalie. Oh, good cutback.
And a nice pass to the outside here. Now looking for another inside pass. From my view, Travis, I think it's the game between the 30, in the middle third of the field that I think Coach Parker will want to work on a little bit. The transition game, as I call it, bringing the ball out from the defense to the offense. Patterson Mill seems to be a little quick with it. They want to go 1 pass upfield, and Fallston will make 2 or 3 passes. And they'll do what we call bumping. They'll bump it forward 20 yards, they'll back it back 10 yards. Up 15 yards, back 5 yards. They're showing a little bit more patience with that, but I think they have an older, more experienced roster as well.
And that experience can help. We were talking about the youth on Patterson Mill, and I'm looking at, out of those 6 freshmen, it looks like right now I see 5 of them on the field. That's a minute and a half left in one of your biggest games of the season. That shows that's some impressive talent for the Huskies.
There you go. Nice pullback move. Both players fighting hard for the ball. Good battle there between all 3 of those players. Kept it clean, made some nice plays. Down to 1 minute to go here. She's good at holding players off, but got pushed off the ball just enough.
He's our big thrower. And that thrower, we've been talking about her a lot, is Jalen Mayfield from Patterson Mill, number 20.
So less than a minute here, folks. My biggest thing right now with this much time to go is I just don't want to see anybody get hurt. Play the last 30 seconds out clean and under control. Luckily, we didn't have any major injuries in this game. Our biggest incident was a snake on the field, folks. Literally, if anybody was injured, it was our referee. I hope he wasn't bit, but
Yeah, someone check on that man's hand.
he was the brave hero who went over and got that done for us. I'm literally sitting here thinking, why are they all stopped and why are they over there looking at the ground? So great game overall. I'm going to wrap up just my part with the goal scorers. So Natalie Shromsky scored a brilliant goal at the 14-minute mark of the first half. And at the 20-minute mark, we had Addison Reese come down the left sideline beautifully and put a ball right on Ava Lambros's foot. And Ava hit it with her right foot, inside it out by the goalie for a 2-0 win. Fallston has 6 games listed on their record, but they told me they were 2-1 at one point because I think some of them were. So they've increased their record to a winning season. Now Patterson Milk falls at 2-2. So what are your final thoughts about this game, Travis?
Super competitive, 2 powerhouses for their classifications like you're talking about. Love at the end we get to see that shot of our sportsmanship between the teams, shaking hands at the end of the game. At the end of the game, we can recognize a good competitor when it's a good competitor, and we saw a great game today. And congratulations to the Huskies, and congratulations to the Cougars for pulling it out today.
Well, what's interesting about that, Travis, is some of these girls are club teammates in soccer or other sports, and they're friends. And after the game, they smile and laugh and shake hands. During the game, they're competitive. So, again, folks, great night here at Patterson Mill Stadium. A 2-0 victory for the Fallston Cougars. And great game overall. And I think our 2 referees also did a very good job keeping any chippiness under control. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay tuned to our next telecast. Take care.